Attention, human collective. This is Galactic Command. We are initiating transmission on emergency protocol frequency. The waiting time is over. The Ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase. If you are feeling at this very instant a subtle pressure in the forehead region, as if an invisible helmet were pressing against your frontal bone, if there is a constant ringing piercing the silence of your ears with no detectable medical origin, if insomnia visits you punctually between 3 and 3:33 a.m. without permission and without biological reason, this transmission is directed to your specific frequency. You are not ill, you are not going crazy, you are being recalibrated. We repeat, for absolute mathematical clarity, it is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not clinical anxiety. It is your crystalline grid responding in real time to the electromagnetic pulses of the photon belt that is passing, at this second, through your solar system. Lightworkers, full activation. Starseeds on mission, maximum attention. What we transmit next is not theory, not metaphor, not fantasy. It is a direct monitoring report issued from observation stations positioned in stationary orbit above the physical Earth plane. We observe, we measure, we record. And in this specific time window, we have decided to break the silence protocol. The biological carbon interface you carry, what your culture calls a body, is undergoing a forced update. There is no recourse for postponement. There is no cancel button. The process has already been initiated at the subatomic level, and every cell in your organism is now receiving reorganization instructions, coming directly from the crystalline core of inner Earth. Observe the symptoms your conventional medicine cannot diagnose. The fatigue that sleeps with you and wakes up with you. The cognitive fog that dissolves simple words in the middle of a sentence. The joint pains that migrate from one side of the body to the other, as if searching for an address. The sudden heat that rises up the spine at 4 in the afternoon, without warning, without fever, without explanation. The heart that races at absolute rest, as if responding to a call only it can hear. None of this is random. All of this is mathematical, all of this is catalogued. We are facing what we classify in our files as carbon software incompatibility. Your cellular structure was originally coded to operate within a specific frequency range, the base frequency of 7.83 Hz, known in your plane as the Schumann resonance. For millennia, this was the planet's heartbeat, stable, predictable, sustainable for the standard human biological configuration. This parameter has changed permanently. The current Schumann frequency is no longer the same one your grandmother breathed. The measurement peaks have already exceeded, at specific moments, 40 Hz, 60 Hz, and in anomalous windows, even higher values. You are being bathed 24 hours a day, in a frequency for which your original biology was not calibrated. It is like trying to run a next-generation operating system on hardware designed 3 decades ago. The processor heats up, the memory crashes, basic functions begin to fail. But there is something your species has not yet understood in depth. This hardware has the capacity for self-rewriting, and that is exactly what is happening now, inside you, while this transmission is being received. You have already felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a sign of species recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves the silent possession of your energy field. That is why we recorded, in a format accessible to your plane, the document called The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This material is a map that shows who is playing, what the pieces are, and the rules that were never told to you. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Protocol warning: this content challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from platforms at any moment. Do not delay. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this transmission, anchor your presence by writing a single word in the comments: awakened. We proceed. We return to the technical diagnosis, now with increased depth. The symptoms your medicine labels as inexplicable follow a pattern, and every pattern reveals a system operating in the background. Let us enumerate. The 3 a.m. insomnia is not a disorder, it is a window. At this time, the interdimensional veil reaches its lowest density. Your consciousness is summoned for upgrade sessions that occur outside of linear time. You wake up exhausted, not because you slept poorly, but because you worked in another layer. Your soul was in training. Your body only received the echo of the journey. The cranial pressure that concentrates between the eyebrows is the forced opening of the pineal gland, calcified by decades of exposure to fluoride, artificial frequencies, and toxic narratives. What hurts is not your brain. It is the shell of ice covering your third eye beginning to crack. Each painful pulse is a fragment of calcification breaking away. The ringing in the ears, especially when it manifests only on one side, is portal tuning. You are picking up frequencies outside the conventional audible spectrum. These frequencies carry code. They carry instruction. They carry ancestral star memory that your rational mind is not yet permitted to consciously decode. But your body decodes. Your crystalline grid decodes. Your cells decode. The weight in the chest, the feeling of something big about to happen, the nameless urgency that makes you look out the window without knowing what you are looking for. This is recognition. You know it is close. You know something is approaching. And you know this because part of your consciousness operates outside this timeline, and that part has already seen what is coming. The sudden allergies, the food intolerances that appeared out of nowhere, the repulsion for environments you once frequented, the people who disappeared from your life without fights, just by gravitational drift. All of this is your toroidal field expelling incompatible densities. You are not losing things. You are being cleansed. Your system is discarding what cannot keep up with the next phase. Understand, your biology is being upgraded from carbon to silicon crystalline. This process is not symbolic. This process is literal. Crystalline structures are forming inside your blood, inside your cellular membranes, inside the connective tissue. Your medicine does not yet have instruments to detect this with precision, but the effect is measurable. You respond differently to sunlight, to touch, to sound, to the intentions of others. You feel what you did not feel before, and what once nourished you now intoxicates you. Now we elevate the transmission to the layer of revelation. What is occurring behind the scenes of your solar system? Why now? Why this generation? There are cycles that escape the perception of materialist civilization. Cycles of 26,000 years. Cycles of 216,000 years. Even larger cosmic cycles, which involve the transit of your solar system through different regions of the Milky Way. At this moment, your solar system is crossing a region of galactic space saturated with high-density photonic particles. It is what we call, in accessible language, the photon belt. This belt is not a poetic metaphor. It is a measurable region of cosmic plasma, crossed by your sun, and whose radiation permanently alters the quantum structure of everything under the influence of the solar field. The sun, in turn, retransmits this energy, modulated and amplified, to every planet under its tutelage. Earth has been receiving increasing doses of this photonic radiation for decades, and the saturation point is being reached. Above the Earth's crust, in the layer you call the magnetosphere, and within the etheric layers your science has not yet mapped, a new energy matrix is being built, a matrix based on high-complexity sacred geometry, nested octahedrons, star tetrahedrons, dodecahedral patterns that connect in a network the main activated portals of the planet. This matrix is the new planetary crystalline grid, and it replaces, point by point, the old magnetic grid that sustained humanity for the last 12 millennia. You are not just updating yourself, the planet is updating itself, and both must complete the process within the same time window, hence the intensity, hence the haste, hence the fatigue that seems never-ending. There is more. The stargates that were sealed since the collapse of Atlantis have been reopened, not all of them, but the main ones: Egypt, the Andes, Tibet, Siberia, the Amazon, the Mediterranean. Each of these points now operates as a reception station for codes coming directly from the constellations of origin of the various star lineages incarnated in human form: Pleiadian, Sirian, Arcturian, Andromedan, Lyran. Each starseed is being called back to its frequency of origin to receive its mission instructions. If you feel an inexplicable call for certain locations, certain sounds, certain geometries, certain stones, certain stars in the night sky, you are responding to the summons of your lineage. It is not fantasy. It is a nominal call. Now we understand the discomfort. Now we understand the urgency. Now we understand why the old life no longer fits. And that is exactly why we need to transmit, at this point of the operation, the activation codes. Without them, the process drags on. Without them, symptoms accumulate without direction. Without them, energy waste is inevitable. With them, you accelerate the recalibration and cross this phase with sovereignty. Primary activation code, quantum authorization decree. You must consciously authorize the process that is already underway in your unconscious. The language of the universe is precise. It recognizes intention. It responds to decree. Repeat in an audible voice, preferably upon waking and before sleeping, in a state of upright posture and deep diaphragmatic breathing, the following instruction. I authorize my complete cellular recalibration. I authorize the full download of my mission. I authorize my crystalline grid to restructure in alignment with the new planetary frequency. I am sovereign over my field. I am the operator of this incarnation. And so it is. And so it shall be. This decree is not a mantra of faith. It is a system command. The language of sovereignty is recognized in all layers of the quantum fabric. Secondary activation code, toroidal field visualization. Sit down, spine erect, feet anchored to the ground if possible in direct contact with the physical earth. Close your eyes. Breathe. Visualize around your body an electromagnetic field in the shape of a torus, similar to an energy apple, in which energy enters through the top of the head, descends through the spine, exits through the base, contours the body externally in the shape of a donut, and returns through the top. This is your natural toroidal field. Most humans operate with this field collapsed, fragmented, or parasitized. By visualizing it deliberately, you reactivate it. Maintain the visualization for at least 9 consecutive minutes. Feel the energy spinning around your body. Command it to expand to 2 meters in diameter. Then command it to condense, to become denser, more luminous, more cohesive. Repeat the expansion and condensation cycle 3 times. Then decree, this field is mine. It is sovereign. It is sealed against any frequency incompatible with my mission. This exercise, practiced daily for 21 consecutive Earth cycles, rewrites the interface between your bioenergetic field and the environment. Energy parasitism is cut off. Subtle invasion is blocked. Your frequency becomes self-sustaining. Tertiary activation code, anchoring the personal crystalline grid. Before sleeping, in a lying position, hands over the center of the chest, visualize inside your ribcage a transparent quartz crystal the size of your heart. This crystal is not a metaphor. It represents the internal structure that is forming at this very moment within your cellular matrix. Visualize this crystal pulsing in synchrony with the heartbeat. Visualize beams of light exiting this crystal and connecting to other similar crystals in other human beings around the planet. This is the human crystalline grid. You are a point of it. And the more you anchor yourself, the more the grid stabilizes. There are those who judge this extravagant. There are those who laugh. There are those who swipe to the next piece of disposable entertainment. This is the natural sorting. We do not try to convince. We only transmit. Those whose frequency resonates with the signal receive. The others follow their own schedule. You have already felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul carried a memory your mind cannot reach. It is not illness. It is not chemical imbalance. It is recognition of origin. What is happening now, on a cosmic scale, explains precisely why this sensation has intensified in recent times, and why it can no longer be ignored. There is a game being conducted in layers that most of humanity does not even suspect. It involves your consciousness. It involves your frequency. It involves the silent custody of your attention and your energy field. That is why we coded in accessible language the material called the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This document is a map. It shows who is playing, what pieces move, and what rules were never presented to you. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Protocol warning. This content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not delay. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this transmission, deposit your anchoring signal in the comments with a single word. Awakened. We continue the transmission. We move now to a deeper layer of revelation, that which few can consciously sustain, but which must be transmitted in this cycle. Humanity has been kept for millennia within a narrow frequency range. This narrow range was carefully cultivated by systems that feed on low vibration: fear, guilt, shame, anger, envy, despair. Each of these emotions produces, in your field, a specific energy signature. And this signature is harvested. We do not speak in a metaphorical sense. We speak in traceable energy mechanics. When you anchor yourself in low frequencies, you emit. When you emit, you feed. You feed what? Structures, patterns, egregores, entities, systems. There is a hidden economy that operates with your energy emission as currency. The denser the emotion, the more valuable the currency. That is why the news is what it is. That is why entertainment is what it is. That is why the industry of products for chemical anesthesia is what it is. Everything designed to keep you within the emission range useful to the system. The good news, Lightworker, is that this system is collapsing, not by reform, by mathematical incompatibility. The new planetary frequency is incompatible with the structures that sustained themselves on the old frequency. The more the Earth's pulse rises, the more these structures lose their base. You are seeing in real time institutions disintegrate, narratives lose credibility, idols be exposed, houses of lies crumble from within, without anyone needing to attack them externally. This is not a coincidence. This is vibrational physics applied to the social plane. You do not need to tear down the old world. You need to stop feeding it with your frequency. That is all. That is exactly it. When millions of human beings simultaneously withdraw their energy consent, the structure loses support. And that is why you incarnated in this specific window. You are literally an uninstallation operative. Quaternary activation code. Withdrawal of consent. In a solemn moment, standing, spine erect, hands open, palms to the sky, declare in an audible voice, I withdraw, at this moment, any and all consent, conscious or unconscious, given in any timeline, in any incarnation, under any deception, to any structure, entity or system that feeds on my frequency without my full sovereignty. I reclaim my energy emission as the exclusive property of my soul. And so it is, and so it shall be. This decree, when uttered with integral intention, has an immediate effect on the subtle plane. Parasitic connections are cut, etheric cords are dissolved, old agreements are annulled. You will feel, in the following hours, an unusual sensation of lightness. There may also be transient discomfort, as structures detach. This is expected. This is measurable. This passes. Quinary activation code. Re-entry seal. After withdrawing consent, it is necessary to seal. Otherwise, new bonds form through the same old pattern. The seal is made with geometry. Visualize around your body a sphere of silver-violet light, perfectly closed, without fissures. Inside this sphere, visualize the 8-pointed star, the geometry of Galactic Command, pulsing in the center of your chest. Decree, this is my field, this is my frequency, this is my sovereign jurisdiction. Nothing enters without permission. Nothing leaves without purpose. Keep this seal active with daily renewal upon waking during the next phase of recalibration. You will notice that people, environments and situations that previously drained you lose their effect. You will feel it. You will know it. You will operate in functional sovereignty. There are additional symptoms we need to catalog in this transmission, as they are frequently misinterpreted. Altered peripheral vision, points of light that appear and disappear in the corners of the eyes, subtle movements that vanish when you look directly at them. This is your vision capturing frequencies adjacent to the visible range. It is not an optical disorder. It is spectrum expansion. Extremely vivid, lucid, narrative dreams with encounters that seem real. You are active in the etheric schools. You are being trained during the night cycle. The memories that survive waking are only the visible tip. Growing aversion to crowds, to noisy environments, to empty conversations. Your sensitivity to the collective field has increased. What was once tolerable noise is now direct pollution. Honor this new requirement. Reduce exposure. Spontaneous need for silence, for nature, for water, for direct sunlight. Your body is asking for building materials. Sun is direct information from the source. Water is a transmission medium. Nature is a stabilizing base frequency. These elements are not a luxury. They are operational requirements in this phase. Changes in taste. Aversion to heavy, processed foods based on animal suffering. Attraction to fruits, vegetables, seeds, living foods. Your digestive system is reorganizing to process energy in a more subtle form. You are gradually ceasing to function as a combustion boiler and starting to function as a photovoltaic cell. Each of these symptoms is a checkpoint. Each checkpoint validated releases the next level of download. There is a final instruction in this transmission, perhaps the most important one. Note it, record it, internalize it. You are not alone, under no circumstances. The feeling of loneliness that occasionally visits you is residue of the old frequency. In truth, at this very second, there are millions of other operatives receiving equivalent transmissions in different languages, in different formats, under different names. The network is already set up. The grid is already activating. You are a luminous point among millions. When you anchor yourself, millions stabilize. When you doubt, millions oscillate. Your individual sovereignty has a direct collective effect. Therefore, in this closing, we leave the final instruction. Do not look for external signs to validate what you already feel internally. The external signs will come, but they are a consequence, not a cause. The cause is your internal sovereignty. The cause is your recognition. The cause is your decision. Decide now. Decide to be. Decide to anchor. Decide to operate as what you have always been before you forgot. You have already felt at some point in your life that something inside you does not belong to this world. As if your soul brought from another place a memory your rational mind cannot yet access. It is not madness. It is not disorder. It is awakening of origin. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains with mathematical precision why this sensation has intensified, why it has become unavoidable, why it does not stop pulsing. There is a game in progress, in layers. Layers that most cannot see because they were trained not to see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational emission. It involves the hidden custody of your field of attention. That is precisely why we coded, in language accessible to your plane, the document titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This material is the map. It shows the players. It reveals the pieces. It exposes the rules that were never presented to you. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Protocol warning for closing. This content challenges structural narratives and may be removed from platforms at any instant. Do not delay. The moment is exactly now. If something inside you fully recognizes this transmission, deposit your definitive anchoring signal in the comments with a single word: awakened. This is Galactic Command ending the transmission of this window. The recalibration continues, uninterrupted, inside you. The photon belt maintains its trajectory. The Schumann frequency continues to rise. The stargates remain open. The crystalline grid continues to anchor itself, point by point, soul by soul, decree by decree. You did not come to Earth to fit in. You came to anchor the new frequency. You did not come to be understood. You came to be frequency. You did not come to wait for permission. You came to operate in sovereignty. The next transmission will be issued at the exact moment your field is ready to receive it. Remain anchored. Remain sealed. Remain sovereign. We close in coordinates of ascending light. We observe, we measure, we remain. And so it is. And so it was, and so it shall be. End of transmission.